everything with what is happening within the region and to the extent of tackle stories that are happening within the city of Arua City. Before I talk lengthy and give you the highlights of what we are going to discuss, let me first answer in my sister Susie. You are most welcome.
Thank you so much, Benson. Good afternoon, Benson. Good afternoon, viewer. Friday edition, I am always excited when it is a Friday because you have time to rest. Those that go out have time to go out and have fun with your friends and all that, but do it responsibly. We are in the house at 223, Benson and Susie. Unfortunately, our colleague Fudribo Owen is home, and we want to say condolences. We are with you in prayers, and also wherever you're catching us from on the different social media platforms, I should say thank you always and salute for you that you always are following and catching us. A lot in the stories. AFCON results continue to surprise. Yesterday, the Pharaohs were held to a dramatic 2-2 by the Igwes. I'm talking about the Nigerians, Ghana, I mean. And then also somehow locally in the 4th League Division games, Airfield had a game yesterday and they won. That was the first win of the season. And then today, Leo Football Club also has in their match day 1 a game at Ragame Primary School. Those that are within Arua in the outskirts, as you're heading to Kampala, you can catch up that game at 4 p.m. today, Leo and Ragame.
Yeah, exactly. You have already given the highlights of what has been happening local and what continues to happen local, more especially in the region of West Nile. And before we go content to content, I also need to give viewers some of the highlights of what we are going to discuss in international sports. Yesterday, there was one big game in Copa del Rey. I'm talking about Spanish Copa del Rey between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. It was a derby where we saw Atletico Madrid taking all the bragging rights. They are beating the team of Los Blancos by 4-2. That means the team of Real Madrid is out of Copa del Rey, and Barcelona, they won their game, and English Premier League is also bouncing back. I think Arsenal fans, they have missed Arsenal game tomorrow. I'll kick off 3:30. That's when you will see Arsenal taking on the team of Crystal Palace. I did say the other top leagues we have in Europe, they also bouncing back, and at the same time, AFCON, you have already given highlights about it. The only thing remaining is to do discussion about it, and so many stories they are coming from Asian football, more especially in Saudi Professional League, and so many players they have started departing Saudi Professional League. Yesterday, we discussed about it. The player, the former midfielder for Liverpool, Jordan Henderson, yesterday the deal was already 99. Right now we can confirm to you the deal is already sealed. He is already a player for Ajax Amsterdam, and as he departs to Europe to join Ajax Amsterdam, the head coach of Al Ittifaq, some people love calling the club Al Ittifaq. It depends on how you want to call it, but it's called Al Ittifaq. The manager, the head coach called Steven Zero, has already extended his contract with the club till 2027. And also a very big story is all about Troy Deeney being sacked by the team of Forest Green. I know so many viewers, they are not aware whether this guy, they are unaware that the former player for Watford is right now a head coach. But let's go content to content. We start with what happened yesterday night in Copa del Rey round of 16 between Real Madrid and the team of Atletico Madrid. In the Spanish Super Cup semi-final, we saw Real Madrid beating their arch-rivals Atletico Madrid in extra time, and this time the masters Atletico Madrid, this time overturning that deficit they had in the semi-finals of Spanish Super Cup, this time in the round of 16 of Copa del Rey, beating Los Blancos by 4-2, where we saw a brilliant goal coming from Antoine Griezmann in extra time. That means Los Blancos, they are out of Copa del Rey. Now the battle remains for the rest of the other teams. Barcelona, they also won their game. That means the battle still continues amidst the big teams we have in Spanish La Liga, with the exception of only Los Blancos. How good is that one for Atletico Madrid, and how bad is this one for Moneybags Real Madrid?
Real Madrid out of there is Copa del Rey is quite a very bad one, and Like I always say, by the way, when it always comes to champions,
Yes.
if you are a defending champion, be it locally, be it nationally, be it internationally, trust me, the rest of the teams in the next season, all as they are off season, they all go in and be doing trainings for you to come in and knock you and all that. And probably we've always seen champions losing out. So yesterday it wasn't different from the side of there is Real Madrid being knocked out, but it is quite a very bad one for them, and no one actually expected that. I was quite very shocked that Real Madrid actually were knocked out after their brilliant performances in between the games before yesterday.
Yes. Real Madrid, I want to repeat it again, they're out of Spanish Copa del Rey, and around the other teams that won will be going for is actually the quarterfinals. Let's see who will win it. Away from that, one big story coming from Saudi Professional League is all about Steven Gerrard extending his contract with Al Ittihad. This is a head coach that has worked with so many clubs in Europe before departing to Saudi Professional League to join Al Ittihad. Previously, he also worked with the teams like Rangers. Rangers is a team that plays in Scottish Premiership. He also had times with Aston Villa. He was sacked. After him being sacked, he went home till that offer from Saudi Professional League had to come for him and officially joining that club. And right now, why we're actually discussing about him is extending his contract with the Saudi Professional League based club called Al Ittihad. Right now, they sit somewhere at number 8 with 28 points, and last season this team actually finished in the 7th position. Initially he signed 2 years contract, now extending it up to 2027. Right now we are 2024. That means he has increased it by 1 year. Is that one a good move for Steven Gerrard?
It's quite a very good one. The former captain at Liverpool, I should say, initially signed in for a 2-year deal, like your Daily said, that would actually see him come to an end of the deal in 2025, but then they've extended. They gave him a 1-year extension with having a 9-match run, yes. 9 winless matches. If that was somewhere, he would already be axed, yes. He would be shown the exit doors. But here we are, very surprised in Saudi Pro League that are going 9 games without obtaining any win. And they still have the trust in him. They are still able to extend his contract. If it were like other people, yes. Formally that he had signed the 2 contracts that already came to an end, or that was supposed to come to an end in 2025, this would be a very good one. Yes. This would be a very good opportunity to actually show him the exit doors and all that. But then here they are, very patient. I am actually shocked that people in Saudi can actually also be patient with coaches and all yes. that. But basically, it's quite a very good one, and it gives him time to sit down and find out exactly where his problems were. It gives him time to ascertain where the loopholes were within the 9 rapid winless games that actually he pushed through into some of those fixtures and all that. But then, trust me, I think this should also be a lesson to him, where he can actually find out where the loopholes are, come through and tighten them, and then we're yet to see. And he is one guy that is to be watched, yes. For the fact that they have given him another trust for 1 full year.
Yeah, the only top-ranked coach that previously worked in English Premier League that has already been sacked in Saudi Professional League was a coach called Nuno Espirito Santos, former head coach of Wolves, going to Spurs and departing to Saudi Professional League to manage a team called Al Ittihad, currently coming back and is now working with Nottingham Forest. But the rest of the top-ranked coaches we have in Europe, they are still trying their luck, still in relation to what is happening at Al Ittihad. And so many people may also want to know which other players from Europe they are playing in Al Ittihad specifically, because so many people know players that are playing for Al Nassr. You talk about players that are playing for Al Ittihad. You mention teams like Al Ahly. You mention teams like Al Hilal, where Neymar is playing. One key player people have forgotten about is Di Maria Gray. Who doesn't know Di Maria Gray? Former winger for Leicester City, coming to Everton, till that moment came for him and departing to Saudi Professional League. We are still discussing about Saudi Professional League, and this time, Susie, let's summarize with the move of Jordan Henderson to Ajax Amsterdam. Yesterday we talked in length about this deal, but it was not yet through. It was at the pipeline, and it has come out of that pipe now officially. Jordan Henderson, former captain, former midfielder for the team of Liverpool, official joins Ajax Amsterdam, a team that is playing in that Eredivisie. I think that is a very good addition for the team of Ajax Amsterdam, because you look at this season, they are suffering a lot. A player with experience will provide a lot in that team of Ajax.
Jordan Henderson has signed he signed for El Ettifaq in July, and this contract was supposed to be for 3 years. But then he only featured, I think, 19 times for Alvarez. He only featured 19 times for El Ettifaq. But then I think mutually things were not working out for him in the Saudi Pro League, and the El Ettifaq and the whole stakeholders have agreed to mutually terminate that contract. And today we woke up to the news that Ajax had actually unveiled him, and they said they're proud to unveil that is Jordan Henderson. I should say it's quite a very good move, because literally the two leagues, okay, not the two leagues, the two sides, there is Europe, I mean England and Saudi. These are two different environments, trust me, with two different people, with two different everything, lifestyle, your friends, your family, and all that. So basically, trust me, someone who grew up in Europe sometimes finds it hard to settle in Saudi. In Saudi, there are a lot of rules, there are a lot of regulations here and there, and all that. They take religion so intense. So to me, I feel a lot of this free lifestyle that most of the players enjoy when they're in Europe does not just add up when you cross to Saudi. So it becomes quite hard, and that's why you find the likes of Jordan Henderson that just crossed in July last year. You've not even finished the year, you went down and had pen to paper for 3 years deal. Before you've even finished 1 year, you already
just 6 months.
Just 6 months, you're already leaving and all that. But it's quite a very good one for Ajax, and we shouldn't be surprised that although he didn't shine at El Ettifaq, trust me, at Ajax, we shouldn't be surprised when you start seeing Jordan Henderson making names and outshining and outplaying all the other players that initially were there.
Okay, we hope the best for this particular player called Jordan Henderson. We also hope that he will be in position to, his arrival will be in position to fix some of the problems at the team of Ajax. Before we come to Europe, I want us to wind up with the stories coming from Saudi Professional League. One rumor is all about Al Hilal, and in relation to the player called Dos Santos Neymar Jr., reports have been ongoing that his contract with Al Hilal has been terminated because right now the player is out injured. But according to the information, latest information we have got, is actually a lie. Al Hilal, they have not reached onto an agreement with Neymar that his contract is terminated. Summarize, then we come back to Europe.
The whole thing is confusing, and I think we just have to get an authentic information. For now, we're treating it as a rumor, because this is something we cannot spread out before people come for our next saying that it's these people of Western TV that say this and that. So preferably, I think we should dig deep into this, because now there are two different contradicting reports. One says they terminated the contract, the other says they've not terminated the contract. So the whole thing is confusing to me. I think we should first get the authenticity of this very information before actually we give it out to our viewers.
The fact is his contract has not been terminated. We are talking about Neymar Jr. Matches, he's still out injured for the team of Al Hilal. This brings us to, Susie, right now the press still keeps on piling on the teams that are playing in lower leagues of England, more especially on the head coaches. Recently we saw Birmingham parting ways with Wayne Rooney, appointing a new one, and today a former player of Watford called Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney, so many soccer fans can remember him. He was playing for Watford. He used to give hard times for big teams like Chelsea, Arsenal. You talk about teams like Manchester United. So many are even aware that he has become a head coach. We can confirm to you he has been managing a team that's playing in League 2 of England, a team called Forest Green Rovers, and he has been sacked. And he was only appointed, he was appointed on 20th of December, and he has managed around 6 games, and out of the 6 games he has managed, he has not won any, losing 3, and also Darwin 3, and they are 7 points off to see that they fight relegation. Troy Deeney today is floating on the water, and the biggest behind him is him being sacked by the team Forest Green, and Forest Green, they're in danger zone, rock bottom. Bad one, still a teenage coach, and you have been sacked.
I think this actually narrows down to results, not coming through. Trust me, by the time, like I always say, by the time a club is going for you, be it that you're a player, be it that you're a coach, by the time they're going in for you, trust me, they go in for you based on your good works.
Yes.
They go in for you based on your current performances or your current deliverances within the club. So by the fact that you come through and fail to deliver, trust me, you become an asset that they would want to offload off, and of course bring in new people. Troy Deeney was appointed as manager just on December 20th with 3 draws and 3 defeats, like your Aaron said, and they currently sit rock bottom. No club wants that.
Yes.
Every other club, of course, wants every other club wants you to be bringing in results. So basically, he lasted 29 days in his first managerial role, and then accused his players of not performing. And this time around, he is shifting the blame to players. And basically, I think players are also one people that club owners or club management needs to look into. We always come in and blame coaches. We always come in and chase away coaches for poor performances.
True.
And yet this coach only gives in guidelines to players that are infield, to players that are actually playing. You as a coach, you're outside here, your only work stops at the touchline at giving instructions.
Yes.
Sometimes it's the players that let down the whole club, but the blame sits on the shoulders of coaches. And I think this is something that club owners should start looking into and revising. You can be having a good coach that actually has a very good mentality, that has all the experiences, that has all the abilities to actually direct to direct the players, but then you find out that the results are not coming, and then at the end of the day it is the coach that is packing up bags and all that. It's quite a very bad one for Troy Deeney, but we pray that actually he gets another club to manage. To me, he's actually a good coach.
Yes, away from that, back to English Premier League and talking about the player himself, Ivan Toney. His ban has been lifted by FA. We discussed about him. Why we're actually discussing about him today is the head coach of Brentford, called Thomas Frank, has clearly come up saying that tomorrow he will be a startup against Nottingham Forest, and he will be the one to captain the team. You look at where Brentford is sitting, they sit almost in relegation zone. They are not performing very well. So many of their players are out injured. The best example I can give is the Cameroonian called Mbeo. This is their top scorer ever since the start of the new season, is out injured, and he will be a starter come tomorrow, and at the same time he will be captaining this team. And this player has missed football, and the whole team has missed football. Though yesterday we discussed lengthy about his return, I think you will want to put something little about his return.
Coming back from an 8-month ban from Nottingham Forest, the coach just actually confirmed that he will be tomorrow captaining, and this clearly shows to me that the coach has trust in him, because basically you've been off for quite some time, and as you're coming back, you're actually given a position that is highly ranked in every other club, and every other player, by the way, eyes that position of captainship. So by the time you're coming back from a ban that actually lasted for quite some time, and then you're highly ranked, you're highly rated, first of all, it narrows down to hard work, and then it narrows down to discipline. And I think he's also one key player of Nottingham Forest that Nottingham can actually bank on him
Yes.
to bring in results. He's one guy that can determine the results of Nottingham Forest as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think basically that is why he was given the armband of captainship, although he is in from an 8-month ban that had been lifted. Trust me, if these were other players, as you're coming back, they will tell you you first have to go aside and be on recovery mode because basically you've not been training together with the team.
True.
And for the fact that you don't train together with the team, there is that mutual understanding which does not come, especially when you're infield playing. There is no way that Benson, I have not been training with you, and then tomorrow we're having a game, and you're signaling to me to pass the ball to you, maybe basically when I still have, it will not add up. That mutual, it will not add up. But this is one guy that has been trusted. This is one guy that even the fellow colleague players have missed and all that. So basically I think the whole understanding between him, the coach, and the colleague players has been mutual. That's why just on his return day one, he is given the armband.
Yeah, it's true. This one brings us to the games to be played over the weekend in English Premier League. Some of the teams played earlier on, but for some of the teams, their games were postponed. And a very big one, this time we cannot discuss the game between Nottingham Forest and Brentford because we have talked lengthy about the return of Ivan Toney for the team of Bees, and it takes us to the discussion of the game between Arsenal and the team of Crystal Palace. Arsenal, they have failed to win in the last 3 games they have played in English Premier League. They had a draw with Liverpool. After that, they were beaten by the arch-rivals Hammers West Ham, and also after West Ham defeat, they were actually thumped by their neighbours Fulham it was by 2-1. That means the last 2 games they have played against their London rivals, Arsenal, they have failed to win. And again, this fixture is coming up against one of the teams coming from London. Crystal Palace, not an easy side, more especially against Giants. Now, Arsenal, is the right time for them to bounce back. Yesterday we spoke lengthy what should be done at the team of Arsenal to see that they win the title, but this time they have not been having a very good run of form when it comes to playing against their Ziranis, against their neighbors. Now, again, come tomorrow, I'll kick you off 15:30, as I can say in Lemas language, 3:30. Soro means Kalines, when Arsenal will be welcoming Crystal Palace. So
Crystal Palace, just like Newcastle, is by the way one slippery team. I am just acknowledging one of the sentences that you actually made. Crystal Palace is very slippery, and Arsenal, yes, Arsenal has been winning games, yes, no doubt. Arsenal is a good side. Arsenal has all the good players when it comes to rating players in the whole world, I should say. But this is Arsenal that we've seen coming through with wins that actually come, they're not smooth wins, I would say. But then basically Arsenal is trying. Yes, we saw them signing in a lot of players that were overhyped. Currently Arsenal has an issue with the striking line, midfield in the wings, the attacking forces. Arsenal is okay, but apparently Arsenal, trust me, just needs one prolific striker that can actually turn out all the chances of that coming through from the midfield, with all feeding in the balls towards the striking line. There is no one there in the striking line of Arsenal that actually can turn out the balls, all the passes into the back of the net, trust me. So apparently this is the transfer windows, where the transfer windows are open, Jan, and Arsenal should look into really signing in a very good striker, a very fast and rapid striker that has speed, that is very creative. So Arsenal going into this game with Crystal Palace, because one, Crystal Palace is very slippery. This is one side that has always given in a running nose to Giants. Every other giant has suffered in the hands of Crystal Palace. Manchester United has suffered in the hands of Crystal Palace, Man City and all that. Basically, if you're winning against Crystal Palace, trust me, it does not come out easily. It's not an easy win that you can pick up against Crystal Palace. So tomorrow, Arsenal up against Crystal Palace, like you had said, Soro minuswi tu kerekresi. Arsenal kayenda mkamkakwe Crystal Palace.
Arsenal fans
today we are moving out with bouncers. Arsenal fans be on the alert.
Now, you see, Susie, one thing I've been observing in that team of Arsenal is Mikel Arteta is a kind of a coach who is not rotating the squad. each and every time you see similar players playing. Two big examples I can give is the player Odegaard and also Declan Rice. Ever since the start of the new season of English Premier League, these players, they have always been starters for the team of Arsenal, and there will reach a moment they will become tired, they will run out of ideas. There are some players who can play good football. Why don't you give chance for them? You rotate the squad such that you also give chance for the players that have always been regular starters in the team. So that is one thing, one aspect the head coach of Mikel Arteta will have to look at. This one brings us to the other games to be played come tomorrow and on Sunday. We said Brentford will take on Nottingham Forest. We have got a game between United and the team of West Ham. Bournemouth takes on Liverpool, and the weekend will be finalized by the game between Brighton and the team of Wolves, and this one will be a Monday night football. Wolves is on form, the team of Brighton and Hove Albion is off form. Bournemouth, one key player, striker that has been performing extremely very well in the festive season is their striker Solanke, a former player for Liverpool and Chelsea. Will he be a changing figure against the team of Liverpool? Is actually one thing I want Susie to talk about, because he has been their former employee. That's the team of Liverpool, and they are traveling to Vitalis Stadium, the team of Liverpool.
Liverpool sit top of the table in English Premier League with a point gap of with the immediate people, and the point gap is very small, and I think they're looking up to there is opening in the point gaps. Liverpool this time around have come through, and they're winning in their games surprisingly. By the way, no one expected the current squad that Liverpool has to be winning in the games for fun. All their fixtures, they're winning them for fun. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool is scoring in goals for fun. There is no game, there is no result that Liverpool has obtained with a few goals. Trust me, the goal scores are either from 3, 4 and all that and above. So basically Liverpool this time is a very good side, and any other opponent that actually is coming through to play up against Liverpool should be careful.
Yes,
because this is Liverpool that will come through and tease you. This is Liverpool that gives you chances and wants to ascertain how you're going to play, and then they pick on your speed, they pick on your style of play, they pick on your style of passes, and then they outrun you in your own style. That is Liverpool for you. In the first minutes of the game, you literally think that Liverpool is playing a boring game. Liverpool is putting up some lousy display and all that. But wait, they're just trying to understand you. Then at the end of the day, they can even give you a 0-0 by the way at half time. Wait, when they come back for second time, you will find full time is 4-2, 4-0 and all that. So basically the side this time around that goes into play Liverpool should be a little bit careful. They have become slippery, and they are beating in people for fun.
And this one brings us to the players that some of the teams we have in Europe are need of. We need to give them to you, because the viewers, the football fans, they want to know which players are their clubs interested in signing. Let me start with Real Madrid. Real Madrid, their head coach Carlos Ancelotti says this time he's not going to add more players in that team of Real Madrid. Matches we have in some of the players, more especially the defenders, Eder Militao. You talk about Eder Militao is one of them. Then Alaba, who are out injured, but he said he's good to go with the team, with the current defense line he's having, but they already monitoring Alphonso Davies, left back, who's playing for the team of Bayern Munich. Real Madrid, they are quiet. Their only priority target is the striker of Paris Saint-Germain, Kylian Mbappe. Meanwhile, for Manchester United, they have talked about so many players, but they are yet to sign as unveil one. You talk about the team of Arsenal, they are competing with the rest of the teams over the signing of Karim Benzema from the team of Al Ittihad. They have also talked about players like Ivan Toney. They have also talked about players like Victor Osimhen. Chelsea was also interested in him. This time, Arsenal, they are prioritizing in the attacking force. What about Liverpool? Liverpool is very quiet, and they are also talking about a centre back. They also need a midfielder, probably as a replacement for
by the way, talking about transfers, there is one watching us from Kuluva. There is Bagumasiza Dennis. I would like to say big ups. You're always following, and he says, I wish to know the results of recent CPD of West Nile Regional Football, especially regarding point deduction and suspensions. We'll do a compilation for this tomorrow. And basically what I want you to give out to Baguma Caesar is he wants to know something on Manchester United regarding transfers.
For Manchester United, they have already offloaded one player, that's Sergio Reguilon, who was on loan from the team of Spurs, and Spurs, they have also decided to loan him out to Brentford. That news we talked about yesterday. And signing in new players, they're yet to unveil. They have talked about so many players, but they have not signed any. But about the players that may end up leaving Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, the head coach of Manchester United, wanted to offload Martial. But Martial said he first wants to finish the entire season, maybe will go over the summer transfer window on a free transfer. And also some players that may end up leaving Manchester United, not now, but over the summer, are defenders like Victor Lindelof, you talk about Harry Maguire, and this one will materialize in case they get new centre-backs. And currently, the centre-back they are looking forward is the Dutchman who is playing for the team of Bayern Munich, called Matthias de Ligt. Our time is up. We will still come back.
We go in for a half break. There is one also catching us from Mbarara at Nyamitanga. That is Adrico Patrick. This possibly should be a Lubara because of the name Adrico Patrick from Nyamitanga. I would like to say Awad Fuambu for always watching us and big ups. And then also Baguma Caesar Dennis from Kuluva. Awad for always watching and catching us.
Okay, Susie, we will still come back and discuss transfers before we travel back to look at continental stories, African Cup of Nations, maybe probably stories that are transpiring in the region of West Nile. We will be back with the transfers and also the other fixtures to be played in the top leagues we have in Europe. It's me, Benson Pastore, together with Susie Linda. This is West Nile Television, and the program